Hello everyone, welcome to another Inside Track. We thought we'd show you today just how much things are changing here at Media Fleet Witney. Our business is becoming about as much about the logistics and the supply chain integration with all of the vans moving in from port and from here on to converters and out to customers. It's as much about that these days as it is the actual technical nuts and bolts on the branding side. We've shown you a little bit in previous videos and newsletters about the creative function we have, the design work we do, but we thought really this aspect of the business is perhaps less talked about, but is equally important. So James is with me here on the camera. We're just going to take you on a brief tour of the three main compound areas here at Media Fleet, and hopefully you'll get an idea of the perhaps the volumes that we're starting to deal with, and some of the other aspects to a project that we face. So, James, I don't know whether if you just want to come out here. I mean, we're just obviously at the front of building number 8. We've got a batch of wrapped Foster's vehicles here, which are just about to move out to customer and that's part of our Europe car activity. So these vans here, they've come through our usual wrapping processes in the workshops, but the Witney site's also been used as a hub. So the conversion company has come in, done all the internal racking and shelving, and flooring, the roof bars as well. You can probably just hear in the background there, the transporter's just starting to load up as we speak. So we're up here in the top compound then. About 150 to 200 vans in here, depending on model. And as you can see at the moment, and it has been this way for several months now, we're fairly full, quite a lot going through. Going back some years, some of our earlier wrapping contracts, we all looked at it, discussed it with customers, and agreed that it was perhaps beneficial for a number of reasons for the vans to come to Witney first of all. I suppose first and foremost was the technical side, with the quality of the fitting, and clearly when you're dealing with full wraps, there's a lot of work involved. So vans started to come here. Things very quickly gathered momentum. We were obviously set up as a factory delivery destination at that point. One manufacturer became 2, became a few more. And what we realised was that in actual fact, to provide that process flow on the wrapped vehicles, we effectively had to start operating more like a conversion, like a van conversion business, with all of the correct processes for inbound vans and vehicles and transporters moving out to other sites, to converters and to customers. Bring that forward to today, and not everything that comes here is for a full wrap. Indeed, I mean, James, if you just quickly scan round, we have Peugeots and Citroens here at the moment for Mears. That's a large program of about 1,000 vehicles, but they're not being wrapped. There's a mixture of specs, fairly conventional livery, obviously very effective, but it's not wrapping work. But the site's being used as a hub. Conversion work is being carried out here, telematics, and vans are going straight out to customer from Witney. Okay, so we've got SSE vans behind me here, Ford and Mercedes. They would have come in from port, about to go through a branding schedule. I think further back behind me in the compound are some Vauxhalls on the Southern Water programme, Zooms to James's left. There's a wide variety of vans here at the moment, and a lot going on. But I think the important thing with all of this is the way that our business has had to adapt and evolve over the last 5 to 6 years in particular. So whereas when we started out, we were very much a conventional, I think we had the mindset of a conventional graphics and perhaps wrapping firm, where our people were fully mobile. We would go to conversion sites, we would go to ports, all of which we still do, of course. But we had no real involvement in the supply chain logistics, the actual handling of the vans. Now, clearly that's no longer the case, as you can hopefully see. The Witney site's being used more and more as an assembly hub. Customers of all sizes and design types, right through from conventional graphics to the specialist wrapping work, they're all sending vans through our Witney location. What's been really, really useful for us, though, is as that's taken shape, we've had to develop all of the processes around receiving vans from port, damage checking vehicles, handling them, recording them, smart sheets, the live trackers, all of the typical project management functions that perhaps many of you on the customer side of the market are used to dealing with every day. We've had to develop those, and I think where we've been really very fortunate is that's really brought MediaFleet on considerably. So I think there are people here in the team now who perhaps feel that perhaps they're a little bit they're not quite so front of house, in the sense that they're performing functions on the logistics and the supply chain items that happen every day in the background. But we just wanted to show you that this side of the business is really now becoming almost as busy as the actual graphics work itself. And I just feel that we feel more confident now when we're joining customer projects and customer contracts, because we really feel that we understand the language now of the dealer groups, the manufacturers, the specialist converters, and hopefully that makes us a better and more valuable supplier to all the stakeholders in a given project, because not only have we got this function available in practical terms, we've got that insight and know-how in terms of what's needed from us and where we can be helpful. It's not just about printing and fitting graphics anymore. We've moved across to the delivery and collection point now, which again, something that we've recently added here in the last 6 months. We can have anything from 10 to 40, 50 vehicles in a particular day leaving us now, mostly by transporters, some with plate drivers. As I've mentioned, they could be heading to converters such as module system, QI van systems, or going straight out to customer depots and branches. We've put this in place, so essentially, as you can see behind me, we've got Mia's vans here, for example, now. So these have been through the process, both branding, they've had their conversion work done here. They are scheduled with our projects team in the office. Obviously that's becoming, again, ever more complex, but the vans are lined up, the dates agreed for collection. They're moved across after final QC into this slightly smaller compound, but pretty important one. It's just adjacent to where the transporters line up to load, and it just gives us that ability to manage this properly and efficiently, because as I'm sure many of you know, it's quick to say 40, 50 vans are collected or unloaded, but when it comes to that point where all the chassis numbers have got to be pulled from the compound, lined up, loaded correctly onto the right lorry, and often transporters have got quite tight schedules in terms of where they're expected to be. So again, new aspect to the Witney facility here for us. Again, at the moment, quite a few Mears vans in here. In fact, I think, James, these perhaps could all be Mears. There's maybe 1 or 2 Vistry Group vehicles as well. But these vehicles will be moving out across the next sort of 2 to 3 working days. So there's a lot more to this now, and it presents its challenges. Of course it does. Lots more aspects of the business, more space, higher insurance costs, the extra members of the team. But I think what it's about is it's about being a more efficient business, but perhaps more specifically, the right type of business for the way that the market's evolving and changing. The fleet supply chain today is very different to the one that we entered 15, 20 years ago. Large customers, large fleet operators, yes, they still have van replacement programs, but so much of their activity now is, or can be, contract specific. And in some cases, very large programs, large batches of vehicles, they're put together on a very reactive basis in quite short time frames, often batches of several hundred vehicles at a time. And I think MediaFleet's role is not just as a graphics specialist. I mean, of course, that's our core competency, but really, as indeed any supplier should, we've got to try and add as much value as we possibly can and be as helpful as possible. And as it happens, the Witney hub and the Witney facility is proving a very, very useful addition for many of our customers. So we're very happy to offer these additional services, to be helpful where we can. And yes, hopefully as the team continues to grow and evolve, we'll be able to support more and more customers in this way. So yeah, I hope that's been useful. Just a quick sort of tour around a few new features here at MediaFleet, new parts of the business. We'll put more videos together soon and keep you up to date with what's going on here. Thanks.